Did you guys get in like a street fight that year or something?
Yeah, what's the story? By the way, for everybody listening,
give me some chips then first.
Talk about the wrong door.
Yeah.
For those Russians.
What's the YouTube name of this fight so people can go see it on YouTube? Is it still up there?
I think you just put Mirasty, Oblonsky wedding party. And that or which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the wedding party one?
That's okay. Well, there was multiple.
Well,
you had a couple off the ice there.
Believe it or not, that was the innocent. Like, I was actually innocent in that one. We were in. It was in preseason. We were up in Magnitogorsk where Fedorov was playing, and I remember because the reason I say that is I remember the boss man wanted to pay me to go beat up Sergei Fedorov. And I said absolutely. I mean, I grew up. I that was one of my favorite number 91. Detroit Red Wings. So I said no, I'm not going to do that. But anyways, we were up there, and that's when I fought that Evgeny Artukin. And after the fight, I remember Nazarov was pumped, right? Because I kind of pummeled him, and he's like, "You Canadian guys, we've been hard at it for about a month now. You guys go and have some fun. Go out and go to the bar and whatever." So this was a Sunday night, and I remember. So we went for supper. Had a vodka over there's like $10 a bottle. So like you can, you live like a rock star. And so we went for supper, then we went bowling. And I remember, we haven't really seen women since we've been there. We were at camp the whole time. So I remember us saying, well, hey, let's go. We went bowling. I was like, hey, let's go to this club. There's a big club. It opens at midnight. Let's go check it out. So we're like, okay. So we left there at about 11:30 at night, and it didn't open till midnight. So of course, me and Yablonsky kind of stick out like sore thumbs. I usually have a big mohawk, and I was a bigger guy with black eyes. So right away, this big crowd that's waiting outside realizes who we are. And these ladies come and were like trying to take pictures with us. Like they were just being fans, but they were there with the wedding party. So it was the women that were dressed up in the wedding dresses were the ones like taking pictures with us. But then the guys didn't like that. So sure enough, a big crowd inflicted and pushing and shoving was going on. So I instantly, because I grew up on the reserve, I know what happens, if there's a big crowd. So I went to the back of the crowd so I can watch. And I remember it was Kip, Brennan, and then we're all arguing back and forth for about 10 minutes. And I kind of just stood out of it. And then sure enough, punches were thrown, and then Jeremy ran in, and then about 3 guys jumped on Jeremy. So of course that's my buddy. So I run in there, and end of the story, we end up knocking about 5 or 6 guys out. And I remember stopping. We didn't even get into the club yet. I remember stopping and looking, and I was scared because there was guys laying on the ground shaking. And then those women that were taking pictures were like, looking over them like they were scared that they were. And I was thinking, fuck, like, what if we kill one of these guys? So all those guys took off running because the cops were coming. And of course, me, I'm the fucking slow guy. So I run a little bit, but then I hear the cops. So I stop because I don't want to get shot. The cops come and they cuff me up. Right. And I'm like, fuck it. I don't speak a word. I've only been in Russia for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I don't speak a word of English, Russian. And these guys don't speak a word of English. So like, what do I do? And luckily, that little Artem Panarin come running back because he was like a young 18-year-old at the time. And at that time, didn't even speak English very good. And he just comes up to the police. He's like, Mirasty. He kept going like this, tough guy. And so he looks at me. He's like, money. And I said, well, yeah, I got, so they let me take my wallet out of my pocket. And I think I had like 400 or 500 American. He's like, give. So I gave those cops that money, and fuck, they let me go. So that was our Russian wedding story. And then about a week later, it's called the KHL TV. It's like Sportsnet News here. For the next like 2 weeks, this video went viral all over Russia and the US. And, but they made it sound like we went to a wedding and picked these fights. Like we were the innocent bystanders. And so it wasn't really a wedding. There was a wedding party there that we ended up beating up the guys, but it wasn't like we crashed a wedding or anything like that.
The YouTube is called Mirasty and Yablonsky versus Drunken Russians.